Xavier, did you have any time to think about playing Boston College before you found out you're playing Wake Forest?
I looked at the schedule and I seen that they were next, and next day I woke up at like 1 p.m. from the late game, and I just seen that the game was canceled. We playing Wake Forest.
X, what's the past day and a half been like? Obviously coming off of such a big win like that. What was it like at practice the very next day? How did Coach Capel seem to kind of approach things with you guys?
I mean, we didn't have practice yesterday. We had practice today, but yesterday was like our day off to get ready for our next game. But yesterday was we got all the praise, a lot of praise. So some bad, some good for me. I saw a lot of praise from good other guys. But practice today was terrible. I ain't gonna lie to you. But it was kind of expected. But I don't expect anything like that.
It was terrible in what ways?
I mean, we just weren't playing like us. Defense assignments, we weren't playing defense like we was in practice. We letting our walk-ons basically fries on their offensive end, and they was getting to it. I ain't gonna lie.
Did the coaches let you know that it was a bad practice?
Oh yeah, he let us know. He let us know. He ran us almost every time. So.
How do you approach this game where, you guys kind of have had this underdog mentality for a while, and now, you guys are 4-1 and Wake Forest is 0-5. How do you kind of capture that spirit?
I mean, we gotta look at it on the other side, as they're like they're 0-5 like you said, but we can't look at it like that because they've been in close games. I think the coach said they ain't playing December for like a month. They probably had COVID the worst, and so I mean they're just not picking it up.
Xavier, statistically speaking, this is one of the fastest that a Pitt team has played under Jeff Capel or any of the teams that you've played on. What about this team this year makes it easier for you guys to play fast like that?
I mean, we got a lot of dudes that can score the ball. A lot of dudes that can run the wing. A lot of dudes that can bring the ball up. I mean, particularly coach says, get the ball to me, and dudes gonna run the wings. And then when they run the ring, I'm gonna get it to them, and they can rock out.
Jeff was talking to us after the game, and he said that even when you missed some free throws, you had some mistakes during the game, he still trusted you at the end of the game to close the way you did in those big moments. What does that feel like when you feel like the coach is putting that kind of faith in you, regardless of the situation, and when everything's on the line?
I mean, I feel like that's something I've proven in the past. I mean, sometimes I messed up, sometimes I succeeded, but I mean, he trusted me, and I trust him as my coach. I love him to death, and he gonna always trust me, and I always trust him.
X, during a few games here recently with the first Syracuse game and then the Duke game, you've come up with some big plays in the final couple minutes, and these came on days when you weren't shooting it particularly well. Is there just kind of something about those moments that, as a player and as a competitor, really appeal to you and kind of bring something out of you?
I mean, it just tells myself I don't just do one. I'm not a one-dimensional player. I just don't score the ball. I always get my teammates involved. I always do the little things. And like I said before, I really don't care about scoring this year. I want to. The main thing is just for us to win. That's the main thing.
Does it take some kind of, I guess, like, do you sort of have to be built a little bit mentally different yet? Does there have to be something different about you psychologically when, like I know in the Syracuse game, I think you were 2 of 13 before hitting that game tying 3 there, but you still pulled up there and obviously made the shot. I mean, mentally for times like that, does a dude kind of have to be built that way?
I mean, it does take a different mentality because I mean, you can look at it a different way. I mean, most players in my position, they want to just score the ball. Most point guards want to just score the ball and just be ball dominant and they just make every play and be the hero. That's not what I am anymore. I'm matured. I've grown past that, and I want my teammates and other players to succeed too as well.
Xavier, you guys are starting to get some national recognition now, with the nice record you have and people praising you. How are you guys handling all that? Are you paying attention to it, number one? And how are you handling it?
I mean, it's kind of hard not to pay attention to it. I mean, I know we all got social media. I mean, it comes on TV. If you don't have social media, it comes on TV. It's guys we walk around to go get food or something, and it's guys praising us. I mean, it's always going to happen. So, I mean, it's something that we got to get used to. Something that we got to just always remain humble and just keep playing the way we've been playing, and always be the underdog.
During your freshman season, you all had a couple of big wins. I don't think they were back to back, but I think they were in like a 1 week span. You beat Louisville and you beat Florida State. And you all started to get some of that same praise then. What, I guess, if anything, feels different about it now, 2 years later with the program, I guess, being a little further along?
I mean, the difference is, we don't have guys that overlook their role. Back then, it was a young team. Everybody wanted to be the spotlight, and when we came back, we thought we were that, but we really weren't. And we got to come with the same mentality. We got to come with the same hunger every game. And I think we got that this year. And we have more experience, and we got 3 guys that already been through that stage. So we just got to let the young guys know, like, y'all got to bring it on every game. So now we're the haunted. We're not the hunters anymore. So that's one thing.
X, what do you notice that's different about Justin this year? I mean, he obviously had some games where he scored at a high level before, but it seems like his overall game has really taken to another level.
I mean, he's coming with a different mentality as well. He's going after the balls. He just has a knack for getting the rebounds and just finishing at the rim. He has a real good knack for it. I mean, when he's on, I think that the whole team gets on too as well.
X, knowing what you went through with your growth to get to where you are today, what have you seen from Femi as a player just as his freshman year and how he's seeing the court and working with the offense? He's had back-to-back games with no turnovers and 11 assists in that time. How have you seen him growing, and what are the things you're telling him as a leader on the team?
I mean, I haven't really like coached Femi or like been a bigger brother to him. He's honestly picked it up on it by himself. He's talking to coaches a little bit, I believe. But I mean, he's picked it up on his own. I mean, he knows that he's a good player, and he knows that he plays. He got to play at his own pace, and sky's the limit. Sky's the limit is really for him, for real.
Adis, there's been some talk about Pitt recently with you guys winning some games, 4-1 in the ACC. People even mentioned you guys as a possible tournament team. How are you guys are you hearing any of that stuff, and how are you handling it?
No, sir. I haven't heard anything. I mean, because so far like Coach tells us, that really have to pay attention to the media too much. So us guys won't get the big head or anything. So we just stay humble.
We had talked a little bit earlier with X about about practice today. He said it went kind of terribly. I was curious for you. I mean, just what it's been like coming off of that win and trying to sort of move on after such a relatively big moment. And I guess what was practice like today?
It was kind of rough. It was a slow start at practice. I don't know if it was because the guys tired or anything. It was just our minds and our bodies wasn't physically there. And coach had to wake us up from that. So he ran us stuff like that. It gives a personal check. So we snap back out of it. Hopefully tomorrow in practice be better. So we can get this road win. So.
Would you have to see during practice tomorrow to know that you guys are ready for a game on Saturday?
Body language. As long as we see our body language coming in from the jump, starting off as stretching, the communication, I know the guys is ready to play.
Adis, you guys go into that game with a 4-1 ACC record, Wake Forest 0-5. You guys have always kind of been the underdog since your time being at Pitt. How do you kind of capture staying hungry whenever you're kind of the team that's, being hunted a little bit?
It's very simple. Like we just, like Coach was telling us today, like for the guys, the returning guys especially, like especially for me, X and Terrell. For Ben coming in as a freshman, we went Terrell year went 0-18, and the year we was here, we won a couple of games, but we've always been the last place team, and that's something to motivate you to look back on. So every time you have a bad practice or something like that, and you like got to look back on something like that. That feeds your momentum. Want to keep pushing and stay hungry for more.
Adis, that 27-point game you had against Duke last year, how much was that a turning point for you in your career and gave you confidence that, hey, if I can do this against Duke, I can do this against anyone? And how has that affected you this season as well?
It was just a game to show the world that I could do everything. And that was just the turning point for me to stay attack mode and stay in that dog, and that's it really.
Adis, you talked about how you Terrell, X, the guys who have been around and been with some of the rough seasons, understand, what it's, the importance of where you guys are at because of your start. But what are some of the conversations you guys have had with the freshmen? These are the guys that their first year and they're coming out the gate and they're winning with you guys, and they may not have that sense of where Pitt's been the past couple seasons that you guys have built to this point.
We preached to them, like, that's not a good feeling to have, especially you in this league. Like, anything could happen. The whole momentum could change. You could be winning, and you could just go on a losing streak. And for us, we just tell them, like, man, it's not a good feeling to have, like, to keep losing. And it's hard to bounce back from that one, and to dig yourself a big hole like that to get out of the hole. And they see that every time we come in practice. We always yell at the younger guys, like, come on, man, like, pick it up, this and that. Like, and they see that, like, it's really that serious. Like, it's bigger than that, like, the picture we try to picture.
This has been a program that in recent years, even going back 5 or 6 years, that has struggled some coming off of big wins, where they'll typically drop their next game. You all obviously had it last season when you lost to Florida State, when you beat Florida State and then lost to Nicholls State a few days later. Why is this team, at least compared to last year, why is this team better equipped, do you think, to handle that kind of success and move on from it?
We just have hungry guys. There's nobody to themselves. It's just everybody wants to do whatever they got to do to win. And just to be able to show Coach Capel that whoever he puts in the game is they gonna bring whatever they got to the table just to get us to win. And that's the difference of this team. Like, everybody's all in together. That coaches preaches. You got to be all in to win, and that's what this team has.
X has had a couple of pretty big moments here late over the past 3 games. He had made the game-tying 3 against Syracuse. He had a layup and then assisted you on your dunk a couple nights ago against Duke. And those were both games that he was struggling shooting in up until that point, and struggling some offensively. What about X, based on what you know about him and having played with him? What sort of makes him built well for those moments?
It's just the maturity level. He been in a lot of situations like that since freshman year, and now the older he got, it's just he sees what's going on, like, and he just taking the pressure and eating it up. Like, he just stand pause in late game situations, and that's what got him as the player he is now.
What are the biggest ways that you've seen him mature over the past 2 or 3 years?
Just the level of intensity of him playing, and the knowledge of the game. Him being able to be a floor general and take control of the game even when he's having a bad game or a bad shooting game, like y'all said. So he just know how to stay locked in the whole time during the game.